Good evening, Tallahassee. I'm student meteorologist Nicholas Porcelli, welcoming you to another Monday edition of FSU Weather. So right now we're taking a live look at Doak Campbell Stadium. As you can see, there's some pretty big dark clouds on our horizon. That's associated with a front that I'm going to show you that's coming up right now. But the main story today was the hot temperatures and muggy conditions that we had here in Tallahassee at 82 degrees. Even with these clouds, it was very unbearable weather. And at least we had a slight breeze from the south-southeast. So this is some of that rain that I was talking about that is bringing that cloud cover over Tallahassee. Most of that rain is going to stay over in southern Georgia and won't affect, and we won't get any precipitation until later on tonight and tomorrow. As for tonight, it will be partly cloudy with cooler temperatures at 67 and a slight breeze from the south-southwest at 5 miles per hour. And tomorrow is when we expect those thunderstorms to come, and it will remain hot at 80 degrees. As for our headlines, we are going to talk about the severe weather that is incoming to the southeast and the spring snow in the west, as well as the flood risks across the United States. All that and more tonight on FSU Weather.
8, 7, 6.
Edition of FSU Weather. I hope everyone had a great weekend. We were experiencing some warmer, shadier temperatures, which was nice. Fortunately, we have a great show for you here today. We have lots to talk about, lots of severe weather all throughout the United States, some devastating impacts in Mississippi, but overall it's going to be very exciting. But let's see what's going on in the local weather.
Right now we are looking at some very heavy clouds that might indicate some rain for tomorrow. We are sitting at a comfortable temperature at 82. This is due to that cold front that will come later, and that will make the temperatures drop a little bit more. But for now, we are having a breeze of 11 miles per hour from the south-southeast. So definitely hold on to those hats. Our current temperatures today, like I said, 83 in Tallahassee, and all around the Big Bend area we are looking at upper 70s and lower 80s. We are getting a little bit more warmer as we get to the coast, so definitely feeling those muggy conditions. For our almanac, we do have a temperature at 88, but nearly not as high as our record temperature of 91, and our low is 72 and nowhere close to our record of 28, which is really good, because I would not like to see that cold temperature this time of year. We are seeing those winds from the southwest coming up north, and it is due to that cold front, like I said, and we are having a breezy day here in Tallahassee. All around the Big Bend region, we are seeing those wind gusts at 7 here in Thomasville, 10 at Apalachicola, so very breezy today. And for our satellite radar, we are seeing very high precipitation up north, and that will come from the west to Tallahassee and make its way to tomorrow. So just be on the lookout for that. Our future radar, like I said, we are going to hit some rain, so be prepared for that. Some clouds will make its way as well, so cloudy conditions, so definitely be on the lookout for that. Tonight we will drop down to 69 here in Tallahassee and all around the region, mainly in the upper 60s. 70 in Apalachicola, so a little bit more warmer as we get to the coast, but we are staying pretty cool tonight. Our day planner, we are seeing those temperatures at 68 at 6 a.m. and it is pretty cool, and that will rise as we get to 6 p.m. at 71. Those chances of rain will increase as well to 70% chance, so definitely bring an umbrella. Tomorrow's local will be 81 here in Tallahassee and 76 here in Apalachicola, so definitely rainy conditions. And the week ahead, we are looking at a more beautiful day for Tuesday, and then we will bump into some rain Saturday and Sunday. But let's pass things on to Elizabeth for Florida.
So I'm sure that you can point out with these cameras where we're starting to see those storms roll through, and that's obviously in Panama City Beach, as we're seeing lots of clouds over there, but across our cameras on the rest of the state, absolutely gorgeous evening for them. And as well as it is here in our city, it is relatively hot across the rest of the state. Here we are sitting out like a red thumb. It is 90 degrees in Orlando right now, 85 in Fort Myers, 84 in West Palm, and 82 in Tampa. So all around very hot. And as well, it is very muggy. We're sitting, again, here is all of this green, which means very wet outside. 65 in Gainesville, 74 down in the Keys, and 73 in Pensacola. Actually, Orlando is our driest part of the state right now, but not by much. And for our satellite and radar, besides our showers that we're seeing to the north of us, there is nothing really to be concerned with as far as rain goes right now across our state of Florida, besides some pop-up showers down near the southern tip of the state. And our 3-day outlook for Miami, we are actually not going to see much rain tomorrow, but on Wednesday we're seeing those rain chances increase, and for a beautiful high of 80 and some clouds on Thursday. And for my home city of Tampa, we're sitting absolutely gorgeous. If you want to head out to the beach or maybe to Busch Gardens this week, it's going to be 84 tomorrow, 83 on Wednesday, and 86 on Thursday. So make sure that you are staying hydrated. But especially in Orlando, especially tomorrow, we're going to hit 91 degrees, which is incredible. That is our record high for today here. So if that kind of puts things into perspective a little bit. But we are going to cool off to 81 on Wednesday and 83 on Thursday. So not too terrible for the rest of the week. So we are seeing those storms actually go to move through Jacksonville as well tomorrow, and then we're going to see those temperatures drop into the upper 60s and hit 74 on Thursday. And in Pensacola, we are going to see those showers move through as well tomorrow, and the temperatures are going to slightly drop, but it's going to lead to a beautiful Thursday at 74, not any clouds to be expected. For our 72-hour rainfall forecast, so we are going to see the majority of our rain sitting more so in the Pensacola area. And for tonight, we're going to cool down across the rest of the state, sitting in the upper 60s and lower 70s. And for tomorrow, another hot day. How about for the rest of the southeast, Heather?
Overall, it has been very, very hot across the southeast, especially in Florida. Orlando picking up that hot spot at 90 degrees. And there is a cold front right around here, so behind that you see those cooler temperatures starting to cool off up into Arkansas. Very breezy conditions though, helping to cool things off a little bit, and so it's just not as stifling hot. And for the current radar, there's actually some severe thunderstorm watches across southern Georgia and into southeast Alabama. So picking up a lot of lightning with these storms, a lot of precipitation, probably some gusty winds coming with that. So just be prepared if you're in these areas. Keep an eye and listen for any future watches or warnings that may come out associated with those storms. Looking at the water vapor map, these blue areas are picking up some higher cloud tops associated with those severe thunderstorm watches that are across southern Georgia. So that is just what this is, the areas of convection that are moving through the area. And the relative humidity map is also picking up a lot of moisture in the atmosphere ahead of that cold front that's coming through. So these darker green areas are showing where it's really, really humid, very moist in the atmosphere, very muggy. You see that dipping into Tallahassee, which explains why things were pretty muggy today. For the storm outlook, you see there is a chance of severe weather across the southeast. These shaded areas of yellow show a slight risk, and the darker green is marginal, and the lighter green is non-severe. So overall, just keep an eye on the radar and the weather over the next couple of days, just in case there are any watches or warnings that do pop up for your area. Have a plan in place, and just be prepared for that situation. You saw that severe weather over the weekend. That has the potential to carry over into the next couple days. The outlook for day 2, as that front moves further south, those areas of severe weather potential also move further south. So Tallahassee is in this green shaded area, so that is just something to keep an eye on. And then on the day 3 outlook, the risk of some weather moves into Miami, but overall, not a severe risk at that point, but still just keep an eye out just to be prepared. Actually, there are beautiful conditions in Atlanta, Georgia over the next few days. Some maybe cloudy skies tomorrow, but that should clear up after that cold front passes. Temperatures in the 70s and dipping into the 60s on Wednesday, and lows dipping into the 40s. So overall, gorgeous, gorgeous conditions for this time of year. And for tonight across the southeast, there are warmer temperatures all throughout Florida, as to be expected since we're so much further south. 75 in Key West, 74 in Miami. But up where that cold front is, temperatures are dipping down into the 50s and 40s, so just something to keep an eye on. Definitely bring a jacket if you're in those areas. And for tomorrow and the future radar, you're going to see some showers moving into the area and some increased cloud cover with that chance of severe storms coming in tomorrow. But now we're going to move on and hand things off to Aaron.
Thanks, Heather. That's right, folks. Make sure to keep that umbrella handy tomorrow there, as we do have the potential for some stronger storms perhaps across, well, a little bit tall on the screen there, but at least across much of the southeast here. And I should say, we'll stick to the northern hemisphere, or the northern part of the earth, as some may say, here in California, with perhaps some spring snow as well. So current temperatures across the west coast are now 58 in Las Vegas, 67 Bakersfield, and 49 in Reno. So those current wind speeds are also relatively calm across much of the region, with perhaps a little bit stronger there as you go down towards Lake Havasu, and then also up towards, was it Tonopah, and then Fenley, perhaps with a little bit higher wind gusts, but overall still staying relatively calm in the wind department. So satellite radar also does show some snow and some rain and precipitation over the central western coast, I should say. So Portland, Medford, and all those coastal cities there up to Northern California may potentially see some mixed precipitation as well. So speaking of mixed precipitation, we do also have the winter storm warnings in effect for the Sierra Nevada ranges right here, and also part of the southern Cascades extending all the way up to at least into, I should say, the border between Washington and Oregon. We also have those winter storm advisory that is in effect for northern portions of Nevada and also extending into Idaho. So the SPC does have perhaps a general non-severe storm, perhaps for the front ranges, so over and also the plains of Colorado, Nebraska, and into, I should say, Kansas. So a drought monitor, so we're staying actually pretty dry, especially here across the Oklahoma Panhandle and southwestern Kansas there, where they're underneath an extreme, or I should say, exceptional drought for this time of year. So we'll have to see if that improves over the next several days or so, as we will see more of this atmospheric river, which you might have heard on the news lately, at least coming into California. So as for our rainfall, we might expect here across the southeast, we might see a few showers, perhaps about an inch or so, inch and a half, as you get to about the central Gulf Coast, extending over the I-10 corridor with those showers and that cold front that will begin sagging down to the south here this afternoon and also into tomorrow. But 26 degrees and patchy snow makes me really honestly glad we live in Florida, right?
Yes, so I'm going to take one more step out and look, as he said, at the northern part of the earth. So I'm going to be going over the whole nation today. So when you immediately look at this map, you're going to see the cooler temperatures in the north and the warmer temperatures in the south, as you might see. But if you extend into that, look further, you're going to see this trough through here and the ridge over in the west. So what that, or in the east, excuse me. So what that means is you're going to be seeing along this line, this steep gradient, it's going to be some warmer temperatures to the south, and that is going to separate the cooler temperatures, cooler, drier temperatures in the north. So the dew points, that's going to tell you how dry it is in that area. We are seeing extremely low dew points in places like Albuquerque and Denver. As you might expect, some warmer dew points, in places like Miami and Tallahassee. So we're going to get more of that muggier feeling that we're going to talk about why that's happening in some later slides. And see, as you see, the higher the temperature and the closer it is to the temperature, that is going to be how muggy it is in that area. So what we're seeing in these satellite and radars is going to be the cloud cover, the precipitation, and condensation in that area. So what you see in Tallahassee is this kind of line that's going to be symbolizing a front that's coming through. That's not going to change the temperatures very much in this area. Again, looking at the northwest, we're seeing some snowfall over here all the way down to Wichita and some scattered precipitation throughout the area. And in the northeast, same thing, all throughout New York, Boston, Toronto, all of this area is going to be some dense clouds and precipitation. Looking at the storm outlook, as Heather said, we are experiencing some non-severe storms all throughout the southeast region. In Tallahassee, there might be a little bit increase of concerns as it moves towards the slight concern for storms, and then that's going to extend throughout that whole region as you saw. What we're looking at here is going to be more denser, higher clouds. So if you think back to 7th grade science, these are going to be your cumulonimbus clouds. And we're going to be seeing that over here in Dallas and through that front that I was describing earlier. You're also going to be looking at it over here in this northwest region. So drought, there's a lot to talk about. We've been experiencing severe drought all throughout the central part of the United States, especially over here in Kansas. And that's been going on for a while. Hopefully we're going to see that lessen up in the next couple of days. And surprisingly enough, we are not seeing very dry conditions in California, which is normally a very dry place. So as you can see in San Francisco, there's not a risk for a drought. And these are what's kind of moving all of the weather in the area. These are going to be our fronts. This is the cold front that's moving through in areas of low pressure. And we're going to see some areas of high pressure over in these regions. Snowfall forecast. We're going to see lots and lots of snow in the northern part of California, and that's going to go down through areas of elevation. So that is going to actually bring in lots and lots of rain and severe flood risks that will happen when it starts to dry up. We're going to look at the rainfall. We're going to see that increased rainfall in areas like I talked about in California and throughout the southeast region through Tallahassee. So hopefully we're going to be getting some rain, kind of wash out those warmer, drier conditions that we've been experiencing. And for tonight's temperatures, we're going to be seeing warmer temperatures here, but nothing to be concerned about throughout anywhere in the U.S. So these are tomorrow's forecasted temperatures. Make sure you get a look if you're going to be heading to work tomorrow morning. And now I'm going to pass it on to sports.
Thank you, Isabel. I'm glad that we don't have to deal with those cold temperatures that are found in the northern parts of the earth, like Montana or Minneapolis. But here in Tallahassee, we actually have a lot of sports coming up, especially in baseball, softball, tennis, all kinds of sports for FSU. And if you are going to the Sportsplex tonight, there is some ominous-looking clouds, but you shouldn't expect any precipitation or any severe weather later on tonight. That will come in later tomorrow. So if you are going, it will be a little bit windy, but it should be pretty nice conditions and relatively warm for tonight. So here's the radar. So most of the precipitation at the moment is in southern Georgia, but later on tomorrow and onto Wednesday, the front will pass through, bring some thunderstorms to Tallahassee, but it should be relatively quick and shouldn't linger too much. As for Florida State men's golf, they will be playing in Palm City all the way down south in Martin County. It's going to be very warm, 87 degrees for the Valspar Collegiate International. Definitely, if you are going to go support our men's golf, make sure to stay hydrated, bring a hat, bring an umbrella, because it's going to be very, very warm. And for our baseball, hopefully we can turn around this tough string of losses. We're at 5 straight losses already, and we're going to have to play number 3 Florida in Jacksonville. Luckily, the conditions won't be too bad. It's going to be 73 degrees, so it won't be too warm, but we might get some rain, which is at 60% chance. And for our track and field, we recently just hosted a track and field meet here in Tallahassee, and now our team will go down to Gainesville, where it will be relatively nice conditions with temperatures only going up to 75 by 11 a.m., so it won't be too brutal for people going out in the track and running. And for our women's tennis, unfortunately, they have to play UNC, which is currently number 1 in the country right now. So they're going to have a tough time over there, but luckily the conditions are in our favor at 73 degrees, but unfortunately the winds will be from the southwest at 15 to 17 miles per hour. So I'm a tennis player. Strong winds like that are definitely a pain to play in. So definitely it's going to be tough for our women, but hopefully they can pull off the major upset. And for the conditions in Chapel Hill, on Tuesday it will be cloudy at 67 degrees. and a low of 41. But later on into the rest of the week, it will brighten up, and the temperatures will stay relatively cool in the low 60s with lows in the upper 40s. And for our Florida State beach volleyball, they're going down to California, and it's going to be actually relatively nice California winter conditions, temperatures never going past the 60s and staying down in the 40s. There will be some rain on Wednesday, however, hopefully that doesn't affect the tournament and the beach volleyball. Our Florida State men's tennis, we played Georgia Tech. Right now we're on a 3-game winning streak. Hopefully we can continue that here in Tallahassee. It's going to be pretty nice conditions, relatively warm, and again, windy for tennis conditions. So hopefully they can play through that and get another dub here in Tallahassee. And finally, for our softball, they play here in Tallahassee on Friday against Georgia Tech as well. And it's going to be relatively warm, 4 p.m. 81. Temperatures won't go down too much. First pitch is going to be 79. And then by 8 p.m. there might be some showers. So if you are heading out to the game, maybe it might make sense to bring a jacket or an umbrella and go support our Noles, because we've got a lot of sports coming up, Aaron. So what is it that you're going to talk about?
Well, I'm going to talk about lifestyle here, which also does include some rain in the forecast, unfortunately, for across much here in Tallahassee there. But as you can see on Tuesday and Wednesday with the potential of that rain. But taking things back closer to home here, 82 degrees and cloudy currently. So not the best weather outside, but you know what? It's not raining, folks, so go outside and have some fun there while the sun's actually going to set later on now. I think, 8 o'clock or something like that? So especially after daylight savings time ended, or I should say started. So current temperatures across the area, we're sitting at 83 in Tallahassee, mid-70s along the coast, and then a rain-cooled 73 in Bainbridge. That's because we have a few storms moving through our southwestern Georgia counties at this current hour along that stationary front. We also have those dew points which are really ramping up this time of year here. We're in the 70s, which is actually just about summertime-like dew points. So it is really feeling the muggy out there. It definitely, when I was on the way to class, it really had a sweat there because we had that muggy temperatures along with those temperatures in the 80s. So if you are heading to Tallahassee International right now, we currently have no delays weather-wise, 82 degrees and cloudy at the airport. And as for around the nation, we do have at least no airport delays there across all of our major national airports. And if you're heading out tonight, 9 p.m. or so, should stay relatively warm at 75, but look at that, we only go down to 70 by 1 a.m. tomorrow morning, so won't expect too much in the way of any kind of coolness as we have the clouds in store, really keeping that warm air and that humid air in check, at least at the surface. And for tomorrow's forecast, we do expect some thunderstorms, especially in the afternoon, to roll through the area. You might have seen that in some of the computer models we were just showing on the show here, but overall 80 degrees tomorrow with those thunderstorms, so make sure you do keep that umbrella in check with you. Also, if you're walking your pooch tomorrow morning, I should say, also you might need to watch out for perhaps a shower or two before the main action does come through tomorrow afternoon, as we'll raise up from the 69 degrees at 7 a.m. all the way up to the middle 70s by 11 a.m. So if you're going out on the boat tomorrow, 71 degrees perhaps will be at least at the coastline, with those southwesterly winds at 8 to 10 and those seas 2 feet with water temp at 70 degrees, which is still pretty chilly for this time of year, but again, we're warming up as well. And that rip current risk is high, so maybe make sure you do take precautions. And if you are caught in the rip current, swim parallel to the coastline. Do not try and fight a rip current. It could be very lethal or potentially deadly. So tomorrow's poolcast, will go up from about 70 degrees at 9 a.m. And if you're still at the pool while it's storming, which I don't suggest you do that, but if you are still at the pool at 3 p.m. when the storms come through, it will be 79 degrees. And as for hour by hour, we did make that warm climb today from about 72 degrees was our low temperature up to about the middle 80s as we got to about the middle of the hour here across much of Tallahassee. But that will actually continue over the next several days or so as we'll continue in that warm regime. That cold front really won't do very much in terms of knocking out our weather here locally. So make sure you do keep those umbrellas tomorrow. That's probably the most important headline here as we go make your way throughout the day tomorrow. But Victoria, how's weather looking right now over Doak?
Well, so right now over at Doak Campbell Stadium, we can see those heavy clouds that we've been having all day, although no precipitation just yet, as we will be expecting that for tomorrow. Our temperatures around the Big Bend area are sitting pretty warm right now, with Tallahassee peaking over at the 83 degrees mark, and a similar story all around it. As we can see, those high temperatures from today have been made a little bit more bearable by some wind coming in from the south, as we've got some pretty high wind gusts over in Tallahassee with 12 and Quincy with 14, making those hot temperatures from today just a little bit nicer to be out in. Our current radar here, you can see where all that humidity from today has been coming from, as the storm system is just staying just a little bit north of us, but still bringing in that very humid air, but no rain as of right now. Our future radar does, however, show that that rain coming in from up north and down into the Tallahassee area, as we can see here, ending up past us tomorrow afternoon towards night. So definitely be on the lookout for rain and heavy precipitation over tomorrow. Tonight in Tallahassee, we'll be cooling down about like 10 degrees, not too much, but those clouds will stay in the horizon just for now. Tonight's forecast, we can see the temperatures pretty ubiquitous all around, still not only barely under the 70-degree mark, still staying pretty warm, especially for this time of year. Not so much spring-like, more summer-like temperatures that we've been experiencing thus far. If you are planning to go out tomorrow, the temperatures are looking pretty nice. However, the precipitation is not. If anything, things will be a little sunnier in the morning, but that storm system will move out and be a lot heavier towards the afternoon. So be on the lookout for that if you have any outdoor plans for tomorrow. Looking at our week ahead, we have that big storm system coming in on Tuesday, covering pretty much all of the Tallahassee area with those warm temperatures to follow it. We'll have a little bit of a break over in the middle of the week, but that rain will come back on this weekend. So Elizabeth, what's the show close?
So yes, we are seeing lots more active weather right now compared to past shows, with that snow in the northern part of the earth and the severe weather down here in the southeast. And we want to send our thoughts to to those who were impacted by the tornadoes this past weekend. And it is so important to prepare your severe weather safety plan, because we are heading into the severe weather season, so make sure that you have your plan. And as far though as our area, so we'll see that rain move through tomorrow, but then when the rain leaves, we will see some nicer conditions for the rest of the week, until we see, unfortunately, some more rain move through. But besides that, so make sure to follow us on Twitter at FSU Weather, and also like us on Facebook as well at FSU Weather. And if you're watching us live right now on YouTube, make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss a show every weeknight at 6 p.m. And make sure to follow us on Instagram at FSU Weather there as well. And if you are watching us on WFSU, we are going to not be streaming there after this week, only to YouTube. So it's very important that you subscribe to our channel. And also make sure to follow us on TikTok, because we will be posting some stuff on there. So here is the last look at our 7-day forecast. Have a great Monday.